today we are going to present structure and function of society. I am Pradeep Kumar from School of Extension and Development Studies, IGNOU, New Delhi. So today we will discuss the concept of structure and function in society, how these two concepts are playing the significant role in society. All the society are having its own fixed structure and accordingly decide the functions. So briefly I will just discuss about the concept structure. Structure means the units, smallest unit of society, that is role, and each role together makes a interaction in each other. Just for example, in an institution like family, mother, father, son, daughter. Similarly, we see in school system, there is a teacher, a student, principal, administrator. All these play a significant role, and attached to role, these designations has given the teacher, student and administrator. Therefore, the role and status is very much linked and attached to each other. The first concept long back in 1920s, Radcliffe Brown, he was the British anthropologist who studied the Indian primitive tribes in Andaman Island, and on the basis of that he has concluded that these structures play a very important role in society, consolidating the whole society, whether these roles may be reflected in different way, but cohesiveness of the society he found in a primitive society, tribal society, and that too more than 100 years back. Think about his field visit in Andaman Island, the time when people used to keep distant from those places, and an anthropologist visited those regions, dared. He was basically a biologist. He was very much influenced with organic analogy. Organic analogy is a society has been analogous to an organic organism, like a small child take birth, and he or she has different organs, hand, leg, head, but all organs are attached. Similarly, society is very much reflected the attached, interrelated of different parts, as we discussed different parts. So the earlier thought emerged from organic analogy, and you will be surprised the initial idea emerged with Herbert Spencer. He was also a British anthropologist, but he was very much influenced with Charles Darwin. Darwin has written one popular book, The Origin of the Species, in 1850s, and that was the most popular book of that time. People from across the discipline try to learn what is the origin of the species, and he has very nicely narrated how a single cell animal emerged and evolved to multicellular animal like human, other big animals. So this evolution made a new history in science, and Herbert Spencer very much influenced with Charles Darwin, and he thought the society was also early segmental society. With the pace of time, as the things has moved, progress, developed, then single society, the primitive society, changed to double society and triple society. And very nicely he has borrowed the idea from Charles Darwin. After Herbert Spencer, Emile Durkheim also followed that track, and he studied Arunta primitive tribe community and given a beautiful concept, collective consciousness. Collective consciousness reflects that two organic analogy, and one of the founding father, Emile Durkheim, after the Auguste Comte, given a very important, he was a sociologist, in core sociologist, always studies in collectivism and collective conscience, and very much coined the term social fact, which was very popular during that time. And thereafter we see the track after that, Radcliffe Brown, what we have discussed, followed this track and studied the Andaman Islanders. One book, a popular book he published after the study of Andaman Island tribal people 100 years back. He lived in those tribal community. He learned their language, their culture very closely, and then came to this idea of the structure and function. He said the structure is bind together with different institutions in primitive society, whether it's a religion, whether it's a polity, whether it is an economic system, and all these institutions are clubbed together in primitive society. Followed that, Evans Pritchard, one of the also popular anthropologist, who studied the new tribes of Africa. New tribe is very popular, and he also studied the other tribal community and followed this organic analogy, the idea of society and organic things, comparing these ideas. After Evans Pritchard, Forts and Forde also in Africa followed this trend, and he has more attention to the political system of the tribal society, how political system function, and the role is played by the community. Now I am coming, we discussed about structure more, now we will discuss about the function, because without a structure, function is not possible, and without function, a structure cannot survive longer. So, function refers to the role played by each institution towards society, and one of the well-known thinker who has played and contributed, Malinowski, who studied the Australian tribes and found that needs are very important. If there is no fulfillment of need through a structure, through role, then it is not possible any function. Take for example, in religion provides the needs of peace, and people club together and join together, and similarly other institutions of society also follow that. According to functionalist approach, various parts together to produce stability and solidarity. Durkheim believed that religion reaffirmed the people's adherence to core social value, thus contributing to the maintenance of social cohesion, which he called social collective consciousness. Now, these two terms we separately discussed. Now we will explain structure and function with its relation. The two concepts, structure and functions, are complementary to each other. As I said in the beginning, both are complementary to each other, one's existence because of other. If anyone doesn't, any structural element fail to exist, then related function will be also silent and lose its identity. Therefore, the institution is key common factor for all our thinkers studied. They studied the institutions, family, marriage, kinship, polity, economy, and other institutions. I have highlighted many institutions, and these are the important institutions in tribal society, primitive society, and society which is strongly bind together. Family exists everywhere. No society you will find in the world without family. Maybe nature of family is different, somewhere a joint family, other parts of the world or other area you will find single family. Somewhere also you will find the extended family. The size of the family and its functions vary with space and time, but family exists everywhere. Similarly, the marriage is the second most important institution in society. The new generations join together and makes after marriage the family. Family is not possible without marriage, and marriage has also a certain norms. In tribal society you will find different types of marriage. Urban area you will find a different type of marriage like endogamy, exogamy, or something. Selection of mate is decided by these institutions, and it plays a very important role. Marriage play important role towards family. Similarly, you will see the kinship. Kinship is a very, very important concept in society, and every society has certain types of kinship. Kinship may be somewhere formal, somewhere informal. Category and types may be variation, but from primitive society to most advanced society, everywhere you will find the existence of kinship. Kinship is nothing, it is a relationship, and relationship, when we talk about, then society comes in existence. Thereafter, family, marriage, kinship, and polity. Every society has certain form of administration. Polity is a very important institution all over the world. Even today we are talking about the democratic setup, socialist setup, or other forms of setup. These are the political system which is called polity. And these polity in rudimentary forms also exist in tribal society. And most earliest society, if you go back, Indus Valley civilization, Ford civilization, Wang Ho civilization, and this civilization of Ford civilization, everywhere certain types of polity existed. It changes with time and space. Next is economy. Karl Marx said it is the backbone of any society. No society can exist without economy. Again I will say, economy, nature is very broad. In the history, past history, when we talk about the agriculture system, and today we are talking about the most advanced industrial system, all institutions, irrespective of their performance, their function exist because they play certain role. Irrespective of variation in these institutions in time and space, as I have reflected, from primitive to modern society, all society from Orientalist Eastern society to Western society, most developed society, everywhere these forms of structure and functions exist. And briefly few features I would explain. Similarly, the individual has assigned certain roles in society within institution, and accordingly social status has also assigned. So role and status are clubbed together. If there is a role, then accordingly the status has given. And each society composed of the interrelated acts of people, its structure must be sought in some degree of regularity, recurrence. In these acts, it shows continuity because functions performed. The stability, regularity, recurrence can be observed in social interaction, mutual interaction, or due to normative patterns. Hence, social norms of society define these norms, and these are very significant two things I would like to highlight here in this course. What is the importance of structure and functions in society? The understanding of basic structure and function of society are significant for human ecology and its sustainability. Without these understanding, the ecological understanding and its sustainability is difficult. And second, the human ecology include human with biotic and abiotic resources. Any imbalances among all these three factors, human, biotic, abiotic, will be disturbance in equilibrium. Thank you, dear learner. It is good to talk to you and discuss to you. Thanks.